is going to be a bonding rabbits frequently asked questions video, because if you don't know already, I have multiple videos on my channel of me bonding rabbits, including these 5, although you can only see 3 of them at the minute. But I filmed a video bonding these 5 and I got so many questions on it, and I've also had a lot of questions on other videos, so I thought why not put together a frequently asked questions video to help you out. I am filming outside in the bunny shed, so I'm really sorry for any other noises that you can hear, like that lawnmower or whatever the heck that is, but we're just gonna have to deal with it. I thought you'd want to see the rabbits instead of just me, so that's why I thought I'd sit in here, and you don't understand how long it has taken me to actually set my camera up. Literally you're on like a stack of boxes, so it was effort. Thank you to everybody who sent me questions. So the first question is from Sandra, and she asks, how do you prepare the bunnies before bonding? So I don't know if you mean like getting the bunnies ready for bonding, or how do I prepare their surroundings where I'm going to bond. So I'll tell you both. So prepare the bunnies for bonding, to be honest, I don't really do anything in particular with the rabbits. A lot of people do like to let the rabbits meet beforehand, and they'll have them side by side in cages or in the runs, but it's up to you really. You don't have to do that. It can help sometimes because the rabbits kind of know who each other is, but in other situations it can upset them. I just prefer to jump straight into it. So, and bunnies don't really do anything, but in regards to getting their area ready, I always bond in a neutral space. So I bond in the bathroom. Even if rabbits have been in there before, they're not going to recognise it. I set up either a cage or a pen. I usually keep it pretty bare to start off with. I might sprinkle a bit of food, or I might sprinkle some hay in, but yeah, it's pretty basic to begin with. I don't really want them getting possessive over anything and fighting over toys, so it is pretty basic. Bowser and Peaches asks, short sessions or 24/7? So I think this totally depends on you, it depends on your rabbits, how much time you have, but personally I would always suggest 24/7 bonding, because I just think it's quicker, it's more efficient, and I just really like that way. So if you don't know what the difference is, short sessions are basically like bunny dating. So you'll have, for example, if you want to bond 2 rabbits, you will put them together for about an hour every day over the course of a few weeks, and hopefully eventually they'll just fall in love. Now this can work, I'm not saying it can't work, but I prefer not to do it this way, because in my experience I found it confuses the rabbits, because you put them together, they're finally like starting to get to know each other, starting to trust each other, and then you split them up again, and then I feel like when you put them together the next day they kind of have to start all over again.
24/7 bonding, on the other hand, is where you put your rabbits together in a neutral space and you keep them there until they're friends, basically. So you don't split them up, you literally just watch them like a hawk 24/7. So I've done this multiple times, to the point where I've actually slept in the bathroom with them so I can keep an eye on them. But you don't really have to go to the extremes that I did. For example, you could bond them in a cage that hasn't been used before and have that cage in your room or in your living room, and you could sleep on your sofa. But if they are doing really good throughout the day, you might not even need to sleep in the same room as them. Just make sure your door's open so that you can hear them. If you've got a baby monitor, great, that would be another option, so you can hear if they start fighting. But I just think 24/7's a lot better, because you're not constantly splitting them up. They can stay together, kind of solidify that bond, and get used to each other a lot quicker.
So I prefer 24/7 bonding. I just think it takes way less time. And to be fair, actually bonding my 5, it did take 11 days, but that is because there were 5 rabbits. But if you've only got 2, it might only take you 2 days. So definitely prefer 24/7 bonding. Juliana asks, how many bunnies are easiest to bond together? So in my opinion, a pair is definitely the easiest. But that's not saying that it's always easy. But from all the rabbits that I've bonded, I would say a pair was my easiest bond. And that's because it tends to be 2 lonely bunnies that want friends, and they just kind of accept each other a lot quicker. When you start adding in more, well, there's mixed opinions really. Some people think it's harder, some people think it's easier, because they just don't care anymore and they just accept them all. But I think 2 is the easiest. They also ask, what genders get along best? Like 2 males and a female, or 2 females and a male? I hope this makes sense. So generally speaking, if you've only got 2 rabbits, the best parent is usually a neutered male and a spayed female. And if you are new to rabbits and you want to get some, I would definitely recommend going to a rescue centre, because they're already neutered and spayed and they'll probably be already paired up for you. And if not, you could pick 2 and they'll probably bond them for you. So that's definitely the easiest. When it comes to like a trio, a lot of people say the easiest is 2 females and a male. But in my own experience, I've had more trios with 2 males and a female. I think it really does depend on the rabbit's personalities. I don't think the sex of the rabbit really matters. It just depends on their personality, because like I said, I've mainly had success with 2 males and a female, but when it came to bonding Robin with Primrose and Bertie, that would have been 2 males and a female, and it didn't work. The boys just wouldn't get along, so it really is just down to personality, to be honest. Another thing I will say is they have to be neutered and spayed. I mean, you might, if you're lucky, be able to get them to bond if they're not, but it's very, very risky. It's quite dangerous. I would always recommend neutering and spaying. Right, so Juliana actually says that in her own situation, she has 2 bonded females that aren't spayed, and she'll be getting a male who will be neutered. And she wants to know if it'll be easy to add him in with them. Like I said, it is down to personality of the rabbits, but what I would say is I wouldn't put your neutered male in with 2 unspayed females. I would definitely recommend getting them spayed first. And I know that you're saying that they're bonded, and that's great, but when you add the male, the girls could turn on each other because of the hormones, and adding in a male is just, there's going to be hormones all over the place. So I would definitely recommend getting your girls spayed first before even attempting to bond, and then hopefully it should go pretty well. Another reason for getting rabbits spayed is so important, not just because for bonding issues, but because female rabbits have an 80% chance of getting cancer in their uterus if they're not spayed, so it's so important to get it done. It really does save a lot of rabbits' lives, so definitely get your girls done. Again, the next question, can you bond 2 unspayed females? Well, you can, but I wouldn't recommend it. Definitely would not recommend it, because for 1, the health, and 2, they could just turn on each other one day when the hormones are all over the place. So yeah, and that was asked by Little Weeks. Magdalena says, could you give a few tips in your Q&A about introducing another female into a male-female pair? Anything would be appreciated. So I've kind of touched on this a little bit. Obviously in a neutral space, for example a bathroom, or well, any room where they've not been before, I would always say wear gloves, because rabbits can get nasty. I have a scar on my hand to prove that. So yeah, definitely wear gloves, and just have patience, I would say. Like, it's probably not gonna click straight away. You probably are gonna have a few fights, so just be prepared with your gloves, your neutral space, be there at all times to split them up. And definitely with the trio, I would say 24/7 bonding is your best bet. I wouldn't go with the bunny dating. Madeline asks, when should you stop trying to bond rabbits? I've been trying for 2 weeks. So I'm so sorry that it's taken such a long time. It can be really stressful, and it does make you want to give up. So it totally depends on your situation, really. If it's just a case of them nipping each other and a bit of fur pulling, then I wouldn't give up, because there's still hope with that. If the rabbits are really, really attacking each other and being really nasty and it's just not working, then it might be time to stop after 2 weeks.
This also depends on how you're bonding the rabbits. So it could be 2 weeks, but you could be bonding them by doing the bunny dates, and that can take a really, really long time. So in the grand scheme of things, 2 weeks isn't long if that's how you're doing it. But if you are doing 24/7 bonding and it's been 2 weeks now and they're being really, really aggressive, then that's probably a sign that it's not going to work. But if it's just a few nips and a bit of chasing, then there's definitely potential that it will work. But that is if you are doing the 24/7 bonding. But without knowing your exact situation, it's hard to say.
Are they neutered and spayed? Because that is another thing that is important. And well done for going for 2 weeks. Yeah, it totally depends on the situation as to when you're going to give up. Yeah, without knowing more information, I can't really answer that. Jen asks, when you move them into their permanent residence that was previously owned by one of the rabbits, apart from white vinegar, what's the best way to make sure they don't claim it back? So this is something that I was terrified of, because I only have the 1 rabbit set up. So when I bonded mine, they were going to come back in here, and I was thinking they were going to be a bit territorial, but it was fine. I think you just need to thoroughly clean it. Like I said, white vinegar tends to do the trick. What I actually did with mine was I repainted it all, so I don't know if that helped the smell. I would also take out all the toys and make sure they're cleaned, or even give them new toys and then just give them their old ones back later at a later time. I also got new litter trays. I don't know if that would help as well, but yeah, basically just clean everything, get new things, take out anything that you think they might be a bit possessive over. Good luck, I'm sure it'll be fine. Marissa Reyes asks, is it normal for them to bite and chase after being bonded? So yes, when rabbits are bonded, sometimes they can have these moments where they'll chase each other and fur pull a bit. In fact, this week I've actually had it with my 5, but I'm not too worried. They've not been together that long and they're just trying to sort things out between them. As long as they're not having any lock-on fights and being really, really aggressive, then I think it'll be fine. But if you do want to try and stop it quicker, I would suggest locking them in a smaller space for a few hours. So for example, when I bonded my 5, we did have a few little moments in the first week. So what I did was I just locked all 5 of them in the 6-foot hutch and kept them in there for a few hours, and they kind of just sorted things out between them, and then they were allowed out again. So yeah, I'd say reduce space and just keep an eye on it and make sure that it's not too serious, but don't worry too much. Definitely it's pretty normal. The next question was, how long does a bonding process take? It totally depends on the rabbits. With a pair, they could be bonded and back outside within 48 hours, but with a bigger group it can take a lot longer. With my 5 it took 11 days. That is my longest ever bonding process. It doesn't usually take that long. I think it's because there were so many of them and I was so determined. I kept them in longer than, I might not have even needed to keep them in 11 days. They could have been moved out sooner than that, but just to be on the safe side, it did take a while. So yeah, it totally just depends on the rabbits. I'd say with like a trio or something, you want at least 4 days before you move them back to their accommodation, but it does really depend. The next few questions are just like personal to my situation, so I thought I'd throw them in here and answer them. So Emma asks, what was the easiest thing about bonding your 5 rabbits? What was the easiest thing, Robin? It wasn't you, was it? You were the naughty boy. I think the easiest thing for me was that I'm used to bonding and I've got experience, so I knew how to deal with the fights. I knew what to look out for, I knew what wasn't normal, I knew what was normal. So I think the easiest thing about that was just that I was experienced. Did you ever think you'd be able to bond all 5 of your rabbits? I had hope, but to be honest, there were times I didn't think it was going to happen, especially because Robin and Bertie hadn't got along in the past. I just didn't see it happening sometimes, but it did work, so it can work. This kind of links on to the next question. Did you think at one point that Robin and Bertie weren't going to get along? They were my biggest fear. Yeah, I did. To be honest, yeah, I didn't think they would get along, but they did. Didn't you? And you're besties now. What has your largest number of rabbits been that you have bonded? 5. I did manage a quad in the past, but it only lasted a month, but I was a lot younger at the time and I don't think I probably made mistakes. I don't know if I rushed them outside too quick or what. So 5. Next question, was it stressful bonding the rabbits? Yes. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, it is stressful. You're constantly worried that they're gonna hurt each other, is someone gonna get injured, is it gonna work, is it not? It is stressful, but it was so worth it. So worth it. Out of the group, who was the hardest to bond and who was the easiest? Like I said, Robin and Bertie, they were the hardest because they just didn't like each other. And who was the easiest? I would say the twins. Scarlett and Ruby were just, I think they were a bit scared, to be honest. They were just wanted it done. So they were the easiest. These next 2 questions are not really like general bonding questions. These are quite specific to these people's situations. So what I'm thinking of doing is I'm going to answer these 2 here, but I'm thinking of kind of making this into a series. So if anybody is having problems bonding with their rabbits, if you just want to message me and tell me your specific situation, how it's going, then I could put together a video explaining what I would do and see if I can help you out. So these are a few bonding dilemmas that viewers are having. So Casey G944 asks, I bonded a trio after watching your video on bonding these 5. My trio bonded well and have been together for a few weeks now. However, the male that I added to my male and female pair just wants to hump them all the time. They're all neutered. They all get along fine and all agree with each other, but my pair, I think, are getting fed up with him and will often run away from him and sit elsewhere. They're all free-roam housebunds. Any advice how to stop/calm this down? So this is quite a common thing at the moment, rabbits wanting to hump each other, because it is spring fever, as we call it. Rabbits are just in that mood. It can be annoying and frustrating, but like I said, it is quite normal at this time of year. But if you do want to try and stop that, I would just suggest reducing the space. So you said they're all free roaming housebuns, so maybe just lock them in a smaller room and see if that works with getting them along. But for the most part, they seem to get along fine. Like you say, they're grooming each other and they're living in harmony, they're not fighting, so I wouldn't worry, honestly. I think it's just something they'll get over. Ashley Rose: hello, I love your channel a lot. Thank you. You really do take good care of your animals. I'd like your opinion on my bunnies. 2 neutered males. I've had my lot for 2 months, being in an X-pen in the same room as my lionhead, who free roams the room. The issue is they keep fighting a lot. They do really good in neutral space until they get more comfortable. My lot tries chasing my lionhead, which makes him on edge and bites him. This then makes my lot attack as well, and next thing they're on the ground, almost inseparable. I've got on a bitten ear, torn ear, and now a torn toenail. It's awful and it hurts to see this. They also start to fight through the X-pen, biting and pawing. On the plus side, my lionhead will start grooming my lop's face, but then it starts turning into nibbles on the face, which annoys my lop. They then break out into fights. I've tried confined space like a pet carrier, and I've tried lots of space, which works alright until a certain point. Any tips? They're both so loving and I want to bond. So firstly, I'm so sorry that you're having such a hard time with this. It's so frustrating when they're not bonding, especially when they're neutered and you think they should be getting along. So what I would suggest with this situation is, I know you've tried all different methods, but what I would do is just stick with the 24/7 bonding if you can. So I would put them in a neutral space, small neutral space, and just keep them there until they get to the point where they're grooming each other, snuggling up and getting along fine. When they start getting along, it can be really exciting and you'll just want to let them out straight away, but you need to keep them in that neutral space for a little bit longer. I'd say at least 2 to 3 days when they're being nice to each other. Keep them in that neutral space just so they can solidify that bond and get used to each other. For example, with my boys, when they started getting along, it was like a massive breakthrough and I was so excited, so happy, and I thought, oh my gosh, I've done it, the bonded, and got really excited about that. And if I didn't know what I'd do about bonding, I probably would have put them out the next day, because I would have thought that's fine, the bonded, and then obviously as soon as they went out it would have just been a disaster. So instead I just kept them together for a bit longer, and it's a good job I did actually, because within the next few days they did start having a few more fights. So keeping them in that neutral space just allowed those fights to calm down and stop and allow the bond to settle, and they ended up becoming best friends in the end. And yeah, it just takes time, so you've just got to allow that time. So yeah, even when they seem like they're getting along, just give them a few more days after that. You've had some good moments. You say that they've started grooming each other, so there's definitely hope there, so I wouldn't give up just yet. So yeah, good luck. Yeah, so that is all the questions. I don't know if you can see the rabbits where I am right now. I'll show you them. Got 3 in a little row here. And we have Primrose here. Bert is down by my feet. So I hope that this has helped you. I'm sorry if I've rambled on a bit. This is my first bonding Q&A, so it's not going to be perfect, but hopefully I've answered your questions for you. I do want to do like a bonding series, so if you are having a problem with your rabbits in particular, please message me telling me your situation and I will see what I can do. And yeah, that is it for this video. Hopefully it helped. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in my next one. Bye bye.